The future is multi-reality. The future is feminine. The future is participatory. The future is transhuman. The future is robots who can sing. The future is peace. I've been obsessed with the idea of lost futures, a term borrowed from writer Mark Fisher's cultural theory of the loss of potential futures, the hopes and ideals which once felt inevitable but have since been interrupted. Like many futurists who have come before me, my obsession with the future largely stems from a dissatisfaction with the present. For the past couple of months, I became horrifically aware of my role as an observer. Like many of my peers, I watched as a mass genocide was happening in the Middle East, and I watched half of them, basking in their privilege, continue about their daily lives with little care or regard. On the other hand, I watched the other half of my friends sink into depression, sharing in the nightmare horrors that is the almost cinematic reality we are living in today. Some of the things I've seen, heard, and learned in the past few months almost feel too surreal to be true. I almost don't want to believe them, but I see and feel it too. The energy of this past year has been different. It is in these times when I begin to question the role of the futurist. What reality are we imagining? Who are we imagining it for? Is there anything that can be done without the collective force behind it? These are all questions I've been struggling to answer, and as much as I've been reading critique about economics and media theory, I still can't explain how or why things haven't changed. I want to be optimistic, while doing what little I can to advocate and heal people. As a Cancer sun, I feel a deep responsibility to make sure that the people around me feel safe and loved. And when I can't do that, I feel powerless. How do we make people care? Recently, I've also been learning about the concept of worlding and autonomous machines, the world made without hands. In the words of artist Ian Chung, worlding is understood from a systemic perspective. That is, from the perspective of an artist making a media universe. Worlding is the artistic activity of an individual artist conceiving, incubating, triggering, and nurturing a world towards aliveness. This constant building and rebuilding of worlds can be seen in our identities. We are not avatars in the metaverse with two-dimensional facial expressions. We contain multitudes and layers of complexity. If each person is then living in their own world, how can we coexist in this universe together if our worlds are built on different principles or rules? When thinking about the nature of AI systems, we are confronted with the question of who the AI systems are modeling. If they are able to accurately represent the human experience, who counts as human? What does being human even mean? Is it an internal experience or one ascribed to you by others? Who decides that? I hate perpetuating any sort of AI doomerism, particularly because I'm an artist and researcher who has been largely focusing on works revolving AI. But I fear we are nearing a point of no return, a future that has been decided by the Western colonial imperialist forces, where we are all complicit in its lies. How did we stray so far from this path? Are we truly lost, only wandering alone in these dark forests, hoping to catch a glimpse of what could have been? Obviously, I'm too young to remember any of this. I was born after 9/11, and the only encounters with these lost futures I've had are at 80s nostalgia parties. My generation was born into a hyper-capitalist, chronically online future, where if you asked anyone what their dream job is, they would say, brat. That's not to say I don't have hope for our future, but I do think that we have a lot of unlearning to do if we're going to be able to build a better future. We are the future.